Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live from the outskirts of the internet. This is the Gaming Saloon for June 19th, 2022, with your host, Big Spectre 2448 and Ramp It Up Salon.
Hi, it's Juneteenth.
Yep. GDQ is doing a marathon for that. I think they're still doing it.
Probably.
I say as I double check my live channel page to be like, oh yeah, they're still doing it. Which I didn't know they were doing that. That's cool. You know, I guess since main GDQs are still going back to, or probably going to go back to being in person, they are taking, I guess, all the experience they've learned from doing remote GDQs to go, oh yeah, we can do more like smaller events like this that are just remote. That takes, probably less overhead to figure out, wait, how do we do this?
Oh, most definitely.
Oh, and it is a Metroid Dread run. Damn, I have not watched a Metroid Dread run yet. I need to.
Is it 1.0 or current patch?
It just says all bosses glitchless.
Okay, so probably current patch then.
Yeah, it's trying to think of how to pronounce this. Mocha Jones 10 doing it, and Blacktastic's on commentary. I don't have it unmuted at the moment. But it's deep in the run. It's in the final area.
Reason I ask is because 1.0. Oh, it is broken.
I am not surprised. Like I said, I need to watch the Metroid Dread run. I have not yet.
Like, the tutorial, this is how you dodge the Emmy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can lock the camera in that third person view, and just do whatever you need to bypass different things.
Welp. Damn.
That's just in the opening part of it. Because I forgot what they actually use that for, but I'm like, oh, yeah. Yeah, this game broken.
Fantastic. But folks, it's our Post-3 run. Post-3 run. Post-3 show, because E3 is done. Yeah. At least for now, because apparently Sony's doing a thing next month. And Ubisoft's not doing a thing till next month either, apparently. And EA has declined to show up this year.
I mean, do we really need them? Pretty much the same thing every year.
I mean, I would like a good Star Wars game, because they're doing a sequel to Fallen Order, and I should play Fallen Order because it's on Game Pass, right?
Maybe.
I know it's on the Xbox Store because I bookmarked it. I don't remember if it's included in Game Pass or not. I think it is, because it's included with like the E.
Is it part of EA Play?
But that's what I was thinking. It is.
Because if it is, then yes, it's part of Game Pass.
Yes.
So then yes.
So are all the Battlefronts and Squadrons, but meh. I didn't care for Battlefront when we played it. When they did the beta for the first one.
Fair.
Supposedly 2's better, but no, I'm good. But yeah, we have some E3 stuff to talk about, and also why Nintendo was not at E3 week. And while we're waiting on them, we all collectively hope, because otherwise, yeah, it's gonna be a conversation and a half in a couple weeks or so if that doesn't happen. But before we get all that, Tommy, what have you been playing the last couple weeks?
Not really much of anything. I've kind of hopped back into Star Citizen between streams. You know how I had a crap ton of money?
Yeah.
All I'm gonna say is it takes one troll.
Oh,
I thought
no.
I'd try a drug smuggling one.
Oh no.
Uh-huh. Some jerk was sitting outside Grim Hex, literally shooting anyone that was coming by. Meaning ship go boom.
And now you're broke?
Yeah, well, not so much now.
Oh, okay, good.
I was, though. Equipment wise, I think I'm back up about where I was, kind of deal. But yeah. Also, the box is gonna have to be remade.
Damn.
I don't remember if I had it on the ship when it went boom or not. But either way, it was glitching beforehand, so I was like, yeah, I probably need to get rid of it anyhow. Because remember, we kept having the problems out of it?
Yeah.
And if it was just me, I'd be like, oh, well, maybe my connection isn't playing nice with the server, and that's what happened. But it happened to you, too. So I'm like, yeah, no, the box was fixing to break stuff. But yeah. Other than that, not really much of anything.
So you remember that new Turtles side-scrolling beat-em-up game?
Not right offhand.
Shredder's Revenge from the people who did the crap, why am I blanking on this? Scott Pilgrim. I picked it up.
And
6-player co-op is chaos. But it's also buttery smooth chaos because the netcode on it is very good.
well, that's good at least.
Yeah, I was honestly surprised because I saw Juker and a bunch of people do 6-player co-op, and they had like a couple disconnects, like random disconnects, but otherwise no problems, no lag, no nothing. And I played on stream with Kaijakaro and a bunch of his friends for about 4 levels. I only had the game speed up on me once to like catch me up to, I guess, everyone else. Otherwise, I had no issues. And also, the game is very good. Like, if you've seen reviews and stuff for it, you're always seeing a lot of people praise it. Yeah, it's really good. I played as April for all of the time I put in, because I've also beaten the game, because it's only 16 levels. It's like, probably like 3 hours or so. It's not super long, which, hey, it's a beat 'em up. It's not supposed to be super long. And it's like $20 as well, so... This is a get a bunch of friends together, beat this in a weekend, call it a day.
Fair.
But it plays very good. Like, I wanted to play as April because, you know, it's a Turtles game. The Turtles are going to be the Turtles. Casey, who you unlock for beating story mode, is going to be Casey. I wanted to see what they do with April because, you know, some interpretations of April have her do ninja stuff. They didn't do that with her. Guess what a lot of her moveset is?
What?
She has borrowed equipment from her job at a news station, and she's gonna smack that shit over your head, and you're gonna take it. Like, her stinger is a boom mic. Her, like, big drop down attack is just a big ass camera. I think, like, her, when she double jumps and, like, starts to attack, you can attack multiple times with, like, a camera on a tripod. Like, it's wonderful. I also think it's also a good thing I played as April when I did 6-player, because since this is, like, 90s cartoon Turtles, April is in, bright yellow jumpsuit. Guess what stands out a whole lot on screen and helps you keep track of who you are? Wearing bright ass yellow jumpsuit. It really helps, like, cut through the chaos and go, all right, I am there. Because I am not green like my 3 other friends. And I'm not, like, a darker color like Casey. My character is bright ass yellow, and I can tell from a distance, tell in the chaos where I am on screen. Thank you, April, for wearing your bright ass yellow jumpsuit. But yeah, it plays super good. I really enjoyed it. I might 100% this, because there's different achievement stuff, and there's achievement for unlocking all the endings, because every character has a special ending, and story mode, because you've got story mode, which just world map, get collectibles, turn in collectibles for points, beat the stages, have a nice day. And arcade mode is, a proper arcade mode, acts like you've got credits and all that. But story mode, regardless of what character you choose, if you've beaten all the levels, they're all unlocked. So you can just take every character to the final level, I presume, beat that, and you get the endings. So, yay! I haven't tested that yet, but I'm gonna hope that's the case. And all the collectibles are really easy to find. They're not, like, super hard hidden. But yeah, it's really good. I really enjoyed it. Go check it out. It's actually on a 10% discount, because it launched this weekend. So instead of, like, 25, it's like 22. I also kind of hope this gets put on Game Pass, because this is the perfect kind of game for Game Pass. I also will say that they have commented on DLC for the game. They said that they currently do not have plans for DLC because it's dependent upon the success of the game. If the game goes over super well, they will do DLC for it. If it doesn't, well, they're not gonna, do DLC for it. But, yeah, please do DLC for this. I would like some more characters, please. You have the not Battletoads in this game that I'm pretty sure is a reference to the TMNT show. But still, I would like to play as the not Battletoads. Or hell, I would like to play as the actual Battletoads. Because I'm surprised we haven't done that yet.
I mean, true.
But yeah, good stuff. I honestly haven't done much else either, because heat has made me a little cranky, so I'm like, I don't feel in the mood to play stuff. Which I need to fix, because I need to get back on Xenoblade Chronicles, because, yeah, I need to end that off.
You're running out of time.
Mm-hmm. Especially because of something that comes out at the end of this month that I'm super tempted by, and I feel like I'm not going to be able to resist the temptation, because I had to play the demo of it. We'll talk about it later. I also started on the Revi Double Form Custom, and I found out something interesting.
Okay.
That purple that is on the Revy suit for that double form, that's about the purple you would want to do a custom like this for like the purple that's on like the trim parts of double suit.
Huh.
Because I did up the coattail, like the left side coattail, and I did up the shoulder pad to like black out part of it. And when I left kind of the trim parts of it, it looked exactly like where I wanted it. Even though I have a purple, I was like, I maybe don't need to paint this. I might still do just to make sure everything color matches properly, but I don't have to, which is kind of cool. It's just an odd coincidence there. I also have to decide what I want to paint the inside of the coattails, because I don't know what to paint the insides. Because if I paint them the main colors, I feel like the legs are going to get lost, because you just have a ton of green behind a green leg and then a ton of black behind a black leg, and it just is going to blur together. But I don't know if I want to do the trim colors, because it would be gold and purple, and I don't know how much that will clash, because that's a lot behind those legs. That
What about doing inverse? Instead of having green behind the green leg, have the purple behind the green leg, or black, or however you want to go, however you're going with it.
that would look weird for doubles aesthetic, I feel like. I think at that point I would probably do the silver on the inside, because that's the only other. Yeah, actually, no, yeah, the silver would.
The silver would probably work better.
Yeah, it would. That actually is. I didn't even think about that until right now. Yeah, that actually would be a better idea. Good. That solves that problem.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Well, knows as soon as you said that, I'm like, actually, yeah, that would be the better idea.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I've only done the passive black on the different pieces I'm painting up. I've also decided that since there's not a whole lot of cuff parts to the Revy suit to paint like the gold and the purple, I decided to kind of expand out the trim stuff on it. So like that like blue piece that's on the shin, and kind of like the like armored piece that's on like the forearm, I'm gonna also paint the trim color, like the purples and golds. It'd be a little bit more than that's normally on double suit, but otherwise there's not a whole lot I can paint those trim colors in the proper places.
Yeah.
And it'd be me doing a spin on it, because that's what I've been trying to do with this, is using a guide but also trying to do my own thing with it. But yeah, that's pretty much the last couple weeks, outside of the last 2 days of installing an AC, so I do not die from being stuck in a room at 80 degrees every day until this heat wave breaks.
So every day until about November.
Pretty much. Thankfully, it also has heat, so I don't have to worry about when it gets too cold in here, because the room doesn't handle cold either. But shall we get to E3 talk then?
I mean, if we do, then it's going to be really short, because there wasn't an E3.
Yeah, but we had Summer Game Fest. I'll be honest, I know I watched Summer Game Fest. I honestly do not remember half the shit that was at Summer Game Fest offhand without having to look through this list. Because I think I tuned out after a while. And I also feel like there were some things that they didn't really show off. And they were just like, hey, this exists as a trailer. And I'm like, I know there's gameplay of this. I've seen gameplay of this. Why are you not showing gameplay of this?
Because they don't get paid to show gameplay of that.
Fair, I guess. So we'll just go down the list and we'll stop at stuff that we actually want to talk about. So Street Fighter 6 was the show opener. They were showing off Guile with his 5 o'clock shadow and stuff. Or no, he has a proper beard in this, right? I forget. Oh no, he has a proper beard and stuff. So Guile doing Guile things. Street Fighter 6 looks cool. I'm not a big fighting game person, but hey, it looks cool. It's doing good stuff. It's making fighting game people happy. And I'm happy for them. Yep. We have a new Aliens game. It's a top-down shooter, or like an isometric shooter in the form of Aliens Dark Descent. Which, it looked neat. They're doing a lot of Alien stuff recently. Out of nowhere. And I don't know why. Callisto Protocol got some gameplay shown off. It definitely looks like it's from the Dead Space devs. Third person, health visually represented on the character, dismembering of enemies as a tactic. It's all Dead Space. It is all right there to scratch that itch for Dead Space people who want a new Dead Space.
So it's the Dead Space Protocol instead?
Pretty much. Modern Warfare 2 showed off some gameplay. It's Call of Duty. Moving on.
Yep, it's the fish. Throw it back in.
Flashback is a Metroidvania thing that's apparently a return of some classic thing that I don't even know what the fuck is. It's a thing that exists. Alright, moving on. Witchfire is an FPS. You shoot demons and stuff with guns and do magic stuff. Okay, I know this doesn't have connections to Doom, but you have like an air dash and stuff like in Doom. So for some reason, it just reminds me of Doom because of the movement in the game. And that's really it. Nothing else about it reminds me of Doom. It's like, it's a fast-paced, like, movement-based FPS like Doom is. It's all about just getting in there, just blowing up enemies, using your abilities and stuff, and just going to town. And you are not meant to stop in this. We're not here to take cover and wait. No, get in there, rip and tear. Or in this case, blow them up with magic and shit. So that's cool. 2022 is target for this. It's coming Epic Game Store first. Fort Salus is a space horror game because there was a lot of space in horror games at Summer Game Fest at the front for some reason.
Because that's where the money is.
Apparently. Because he also had a routine doing the exact same thing, except androids. Stormgate is a thing with no gameplay. It was just a cinematic. Moving on. Sorry, you didn't show gameplay. We're moving on. You have no gameplay. High Water. It looks like an indie title. It looks like a nice, fancy indie title. exploring the world as it's been flooded. Some coming out this year at some point. American Arcadia. A side-scrolling game of some kind of adventure game from looks of it. Kind of 80s spy aesthetic. It looks neat. Marvel's Midnight Suns did not show gameplay, even though they've shown off gameplay for this game, and people's impressions of the game have been coming out the last week or so, because they've gotten to play demos and stuff. So I don't know why they didn't show gameplay here. They just said, hey, the main bad guy here, she's got villains of her own. She has recruited...
To be fair, it's a Marvel game that I feel like the people that probably didn't know about the Midnight Suns probably do now, thanks to most of the videos pertaining to Moon Knight.
Fair.
Because that's been something that's recurringly coming up, kind of deal.
I would also say that this is a turn-based strategy game with cards as a basis from the Fraxis devs. You might want to tell people about that up front, because people are going to go, wait, what do you mean this is a turn-based strategy game? What is all this card stuff? Wait, what? Am I using cards for attacks? What? Like, and like, there's apparently a whole lot of like relationship stuff, a la like the BioWare like crew stuff. Not like, I don't think like romance stuff, but at least like dialogue trees and stuff, like getting to know your teammates and stuff. And apparently your headquarters, the Abbey, has like a whole bunch of secrets and all this like exploration stuff you can do in the Abbey as you progress through the game. Like, you know the crypt from Mortal Kombat?
Yeah.
Think that. In a sense, where you have this kind of like big area that you just explore and you get abilities and it lets you explore more and unlock more stuff. This game sounds really cool, but I am still concerned because 2K is publishing this and that card-based system is ripe for abuse of microtransaction bullshit. And it scares me to no goddamn end that they are gonna fuck this game over so hard. And I really hope they don't, because this sounds really cool and I want to play it. But yeah, the main bad guy has recruited, forcibly recruited, mind you, Venom, Hulk, Rhino, and the Scarlet Witch to flesh out her roster of characters you can punch at some point in the game and maybe unlock, probably, if you punch them right. I would assume. Goat Simulator 3 showed up at this showcase and a different showcase, actually. It's Goat Simulator. I didn't know they made 3 of these. I thought they made just the one. I didn't know they made 2.
I mean...
When did Ghost Simulator 2 come out?
If I'm not mistaken...
Okay. Midnight Flight Express is the isometric action game. I don't remember this one. I think I tuned out when this one was up.
That or they didn't show gameplay, one of the two.
There's gameplay here. I'm looking at it now. There's gameplay, but like, it exists. It's a thing. Moving on. Neon White is actually out right now. It's a movement-based FPS game. It looks pretty fun. I've seen somebody I follow, I think Doc, MDCT, streamed a bit of it. It looked cool. Warframe exists and continues to do stuff. That is the short and long of that one. Is this the one from the Genshin Impact devs? Yes. Would you like a Genshin Impact game, but it's sci-fi? Here is Zenless Zone Zero. It's Genshin Impact, but in the future. Because it's the same devs. It looks cool. It's gonna have a bunch of mobile game gotcha bullshit attached to it, so I probably am not gonna play it. Because I tried to play Genshin Impact, and all of the gotcha bullshit just pulled me out. Super people? I don't remember this one either. It's I think it's an FPS of some kind, probably. Shredder's Revenge, we've talked about that already. I think this is also from the Genshin Impact devs. Honkai Star Rail? Maybe? I think this is the 4-player co-op game. That maybe doesn't have gotcha bullshit in it. Maybe. Another survival game. Just gonna skip over that one. Warhammer 40k. Thing. Saints Row is doing a demo for their new game. So you can customize your character and play a bit of the game to test it out. Saints Row Boss Factory. Humankind, I think it's just coming to consoles and stuff. Gotham Knight didn't show much more than we've already seen from it. For some reason. I don't know why. It just showed off more Nightwing stuff, and I'm like, you have 2 more characters to show off properly. I don't know why you're just showing off more Nightwing. And then Layers of Fear is doing a new game, and for some reason, not listed here. You know how we got The Last of Us on PS3? Tommy, you there? Hello?
Sorry.
Oh. You remember how we got Last of Us on PS3 not too long ago?
Uh-huh.
And how they did a remaster of that for PlayStation 4 that's also playable on PlayStation 5?
And how we already talked about this once.
Yeah, they also... They ended the show by going, hey, here's the remake of The Last of Us for PlayStation 5, and also here's that TV show we're working on that's also Last of Us that we were going to spend 20 minutes talking about, so... Also, somewhere in there, The Rock talked about his new movie, Black Adam, in his energy drinks, and none of it was gameplay related. I don't know why Dwayne Dwayneson was here to shill his movie and his energy drinks. But that was a thing. So that was Summer Game Fest. What do you think? Yeah, it sounds about right. It was not particularly good. Granted, I know what Jeff Keighley said before the show. Temper your expectations, people. We're not doing anything super major, and, well, they certainly didn't do anything super major. So yeah, it was nothing to write home about. Shall we get to Microsoft and Bethesda with just as long of a list that I'm just going to skip through most of? Because yeah, it's the same case of there's a lot of here, and I don't care about most of it. Because I also tuned out for most of it. But highlights from Microsoft Bethesda. Silk Song was shown off, but no release date still. Oh, all of Riot's stuff is coming to Game Pass. So you get League of Legends on Game Pass, and you get all the champions unlocked, and it's a bunch of other stuff, and all the other Riot Games stuff. Yay! And Forza looked like Forza. There's a Pelican you can fly in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Overwatch 2 is going into early access on October 4th. And you know how they talked a whole bunch about their single player stuff? It's like, oh, we're doing a whole bunch of single player stuff for Overwatch 2. Guess when all that's coming out in relation to this early access? Next year. This game will not launch with all of its single player content. It is going to take probably up to a year to get that stuff out the door. Forza 5's doing Hot Wheels stuff. Yay. Minecraft Legends is an RTS game. So they're doing an RTS game with Minecraft now. For some reason. I feel like they're just throwing ideas at Minecraft now that they own it. Skip. The thing I actually cared about. The one thing from Microsoft Bethesda that made me care. Personas 3, 4, and 5 are coming to Game Pass on Xbox and PC, and PlayStation 4 as well. They won't be limited to Xbox consoles. Unfortunately, Persona 5 Royal is coming in, I think they said October? Yes, October 21st will be the release of Persona 5 Royal on Xbox and PC. And if you have Game Pass, you get this. Persona 3 Portable and Persona 4 Golden are coming next year. I might be just playing Persona 3 Portable when it comes out instead of trying to pick up FPS wherever I left off on it. Kojima showed up to say, I'm making a thing for Xbox. Bye. And Starfield showed off gameplay for the first time. It looks like a Fallout game. That's about it. That was Microsoft Bethesda, folks. Anything stand out for you on this? Or is it another meh?
Kind of another meh.
I like Starfield's ship stuff with its different modules that you can like make your own ship. That's cool. Nothing else about the game made me interested. And now I'm having issues pulling up the articles.
Oh no.
I don't know what's happening. I don't know. I can't pull up the next article. Can I pull up the one after it? No. What is happening?
Your internet says no.
Apparently. Because I saw I had a notification for the Xbox store, and I'm like, oh, was that thing I was thinking of for Shredder's Revenge a thing? Because I saw the picture for it. fuck's sakes. Internet. Why? What is happening?
Yeah, it says no.
Am I breaking up on Discord at all?
Nope. You might be lagging, but you're not breaking up, because I noticed that you had a little bit of a delay in that, but...
Do I have to kick the router?
Possibly.
Alright, 1 second, folks. I'm gonna disconnect here, because I'm gonna reset the router. That'll fix the issue, probably. Alright, I'm back.
Welcome back.
The article is working. Also, guess what's on Game Pass?
What?
Shredder's Revenge is on Game Pass.
Well then.
I don't know if it's cross-play with Steam. I know it's cross-play with, like, the Epic Game Store.
Then probably.
Yeah, but, like, I could just install it again through Game Pass and boot it up through there. If you want to do that for a Rampant Gaming or a co-op.
We might. We'll keep that in mind at least.
But anyway, any other comments on Xbox Bethesda before we move on to Capcom?
No.
Alright then, Capcom! RE4 remake was one of the big things with gameplay shown off. It looks like an RE4 remake.
Yay.
Doesn't sway my concerns about it, but hey, the gameplay looked neat. What little of it we got. The big thing to talk about was RE Village is getting Winter's expansion, which will include a whole new story mode called Shadows of Rose that involves spoilers for Resident Evil Village. So, spoilers for Resident Evil Village right now. You get to play as Ethan's daughter in the future as she deals with shit. You also get to play as Lady Demetrius in Mercenaries mode, because why would we not let you play as 8-foot-tall vampire lady that internet flipped the fuck out about? Of course we're going to let you play as 8-foot-tall vampire lady. Also, a third-person mode, because why not, I guess. It's all coming as this expansion on October 28th. Also, what technically got leaked out because it just showed up on like the PlayStation Store and stuff like the day before. REs 2, 3, and 7 are all getting next-gen upgrades and are just available now for free. So you can go play them on your Xbox 5 and Series X or S if you own those on the previous gen. Also, RE Reverse is launching this October. With this expansion, if you forgot about that multiplayer-only Resident Evil game. New details for Sunbreak, some gameplay for Exoprimal. Nothing big and spectacular with those. More details for Street Fighter 6 to come, and Dragon's Dogma teased an event that said, hey, we're gonna announce Dragon's Dogma 2, but not at this event, at our own thing. Like in the next like couple days. But that was Capcom. Any thoughts on Capcom at all?
Nope, because it was basically Resident Evil the showcase.
Pretty much. And even not, it's still Resident Evil adjacent, because Exoprimal is totally not a Dino Crisis game, which is a Resident Evil game, technically, in its gameplay. So, yeah, that was Capcom. Final Fantasy's 25th anniversary event. It was 10 minutes long, and it took almost the entire 10 minutes to get to the things that people are going to care about coming out of this event. Because they showed off gameplay of the two mobile games, Ever Crisis and First Soldier. Ever Crisis is their traditional remake of all of the different 7 compilation stuff in one form. Because spoilers, 7 Remake is a sequel to all of that. So you need to be read up on your 7 lore going into the sequels, going into this trilogy. Because spoilers. They revealed Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, the second of 3 games that are a remake of Final Fantasy VII. And they confirmed it's a trilogy. Like they did not say what the...
Like I said, disc 2.
Yep. They didn't confirm the title for the 3rd game, but considering it's remake, rebirth, it's probably a of some kind. Not reunion, because they're using that for a remaster of Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII that is coming out this year, this winter specifically. 7 Rebirth is coming out next year in the winter. So either sometime late 2023 or early 2024. But they did show off gameplay of it. Not like super intricate gameplay, but gameplay nonetheless. So it's in, deep in development. And the Crisis Core Remaster, it's had a full showcase as well, so that's pretty much on the table. So, are you excited for the 7 showcase?
I mean, no.
Fair. I have no nostalgia for 7 because I didn't play 7 as a kid, so
Same.
I don't have that same place for it. And I just look at the 7 remake stuff and I'm like, this all has to be on the table first before I care. Because I did the 10-year or 15-year journey with Kingdom Hearts with Tetsuya Nomura at the helm, and I was like, this is bad. I regret this journey I took and being invested in it. This all needs to be on the table first to see if it's actually fucking good before I care. But you're probably noticing that we haven't talked about a certain company this entire time. Because they didn't have a direct this past couple weeks. And we have a reason why. Kind of. So, Nintendo has been silent outside of promoting Strikers and Xenoblade Chronicles 3 that is coming out in the next month. And Strikers that is already out. Along with just doing little small announcements here and there. They haven't done a proper direct, and they haven't announced a proper direct. And apparently, that is because it's not happening until the end of the month, on the 29th. According to... Let me get her name real quick. Where is it in this article? Alana Pierce. She's formerly of IGN, currently works at Santa Monica Studio. She's a longtime game journalist, so a lot of credentials and stuff. In a stream talking Xbox Bethesda, someone asked about the Direct, and she noted that it was going to be the 29th. When asked to clarify, she double-checked her calendar, said 29th is the Direct. Apparently, she got this secondhand. This is not a direct information from Nintendo. So that is the case. So we're waiting an additional 10 days for a direct, supposedly, because that's what we got. Are you excited?
Maybe when we get closer.
Yeah.
Only because there's potential stuff that they could do.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as for what we know is in the pipework, I mean, I don't know how much more they really have to push on any of that. I feel like the only way that a direct could stand out right now would be as if we got a curveball kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
And by that I mean, truthfully, not even like Prime Remake or Prime Trilogy, because everyone's been kind of chomping at the bit for that one for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's not gonna be a, oh, well, this was a bad direct because they said the thing that we all want. No, it's still gonna make it good if they say that, but it would have to be something even more of a swerve than that kind of deal for it to be like, oh, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah, I'll be content if I come out of that direct with, like, I don't know, a new trailer for Breath of the Wild 2 to gush about for like a week straight, because they did a mood of a trailer again, and I really want another mood of a trailer like the first trailer we got for Breath of the Wild 2.
But I don't think we'll get it.
I know, because they said like it's next year definitively, and I'm like, you're not gonna show me a trailer then. Damn it, I want another mood of a trailer, because that first one was stupid good.
But and I think you might have got the article that I was talking about when we were first talking about this.
Yeah, I did.
But yeah, like it's mentioning Wind Waker or Twilight Princess, that could be something. That really could be something that'd be that swerve there.
Mm-hmm.
Since we just had the Wii U remakes, it's one of those I'm kind of not leaning towards we're going to get that.
Yeah.
Especially with Breath of the Wild more than likely going to be a March 2023 release.
I do know that from her as well, there is talks of a new Fire Emblem, like a brand new Fire Emblem. Apparently, some screenshots of it have leaked, but that's probably going to be at the Direct since that's getting talked about at the moment. Which I'm down for a new Fire Emblem because it's looking to be, I believe, from the same people that did Three Houses. Because I think it's another Koei Tecmo Intelligent Systems kind of like co-op thing. Not like actual Fire Emblem co-op, I mean like studio co-op. So I'm on board with that. They also mentioned something here I would be content if we got more information about. Mario plus Rabbids 2. Please, please, pretty please. You showed me one trailer and I was like, I want this game. Please show me more.
That's in that weird limbo of who would we really see pushing more information?
Right.
Would we see it more Ubisoft side since they're the ones actually working on it, or more Nintendo side since, you know, it is their IP?
Yeah.
That's that one that I'm like, we could. I'm not ruling that out, but at the same time, I'm like, I kind of wonder if we will. Because if I'm not mistaken, wasn't most of the Mario and Rabbids big information kind of let out during E3 with Ubisoft?
That's where it first showed up, yeah. That was the first big drop for it. I think it might have popped up in Direct since then, but like the E3 showcase more or less went, this is the entire game. The only thing I can think of that might have been Direct exclusive was the Donkey Kong DLC.
Yeah.
But like the main game,
that's kind of why I'm leaning towards, I think Nintendo's actually fine with Ubisoft being the ones making the announcements for this, with them just helping the hype.
I won't say no to more Pokemon information since, you know, I still need more information on like what's the differences here so I can decide which of these Pokemon games I want to pick up. But like that's not like big surprising news.
No.
We kind of know the big twists of the game already. They kind of already put it on the table.
Like I feel like the Zelda remakes would be something that could be a curveball because of the simple fact of, yeah, if Breath of the Wild's not in March's spot next year, I'll be surprised. Same kind of deal, honestly, with Prime. Like, I know we've had a lot of rumors about there being a remake in the works, but there's not been anything official. And I don't even think job listing wise anything had popped up for anything like that. It was all for 4.
Yeah, because all the 4 stuff was for Bandai Namco games, and that was pre-developer swap.
So,
which,
I mean, granted, developer swap and us not getting anything out of Prime 4 for a while could also point towards Retro maybe being the ones kind of at least overseeing a Prime remake, which could be why we're not getting the information on 4 as frequent. But it's one of those I'm like, I don't know.
I want to mention something real quick because I kept seeing it circulate on Twitter and it annoyed me because that's not how game development works. So people kept talking about how it's been 5 years since Metroid Prime 4 was announced. You know, and it's been 5 years and, you know, the game's still not anywhere. And I'm like, no. That Prime 4 died 3 years ago. Technically now, that Prime 4 doesn't exist. Prime 4 is now only 3 years old. Because of that developer swap.
But
like, I know for most people that doesn't count, but they said they restarted development from scratch. Whatever Prime 4 we were supposed to get 5 years ago is dead.
But
that's not
have
happening.
To wonder how far from scratch they're actually going.
Right.
Because even a bad idea can still have some good things to take away from it.
Right.
So that makes you wonder, one, how far was it when it switched hands? Because I mean, if it was just in the storyboarding and they didn't really get to the programming side of things yet, then yeah, I could see it having to be started from the ground up. If they started in and at least knew an engine they were working with, then I have to wonder how much of that actually was full on, we're starting from the ground up.
I feel like the fact that Nintendo dedicated an entire video and saying, we are restarting development on this game, we're sorry, we're putting it in Retro's hands, and they never confirmed who was working on Prime 4, right?
I don't think they did. I think it wasn't until, I wanted to say, a job listing was posted that was very, very almost spot on. Like,
yeah,
they did everything but say it's for Prime 4.
Because they never said in that video who they swapped developers from. So they did not even attempt to throw a studio under the bus for that. But Nintendo went out of their way to announce that they were swapping development on this. They don't do that. So I have to think something about that development went catastrophically wrong, that they had to scramble and make this change. So I have to wonder really how much is salvageable if it went that wrong that Nintendo had to do that to start with. Like, I'm sure there's something salvageable there, but like 2 years in and you're doing all this? What happened?
But, okay, at the same time, I don't agree with everyone being like, oh yeah, we've got to count the full 5 years. But should we not, by 3 years into a new developer on it, or even 2 years in, have something to go with?
I'm sure. And I also wonder,
even if it's just another teaser of more than just the logo.
Yeah. Because I've thought about this because of all that popping up. I wonder how long that was in play. Like, how long before that announcement they had worked with Retro Studios to get this changeover to happen. And if so, what did Retro Studios have to put on the back burner because Nintendo went, we need this now. Like, this is the game you're working on now. Whatever, like, we were working with you before to do, that's done. That's on the back burner. We need this. We need you to do this, please.
If you seem to recall, I was slightly hesitant on Prime 4 out the gate because it wasn't in Retro's hands.
Yeah.
That makes me think, especially with all the rumors about a Prime HD remake and, you know, the Prime Trilogy being released on the Switch was a rumor for a while right around the Prime 4 announcement. It makes me wonder if maybe that's what Retro was actually working on. Hence why we've not heard anything from either side of this.
Yeah.
Because if they're working on an HD remake, that would be the perfect excuse to generate an engine on the Switch for the new game.
Yeah.
It's one of those, a lot of people don't really know unless they dug deep into it, but the only reason Breath of the Wild exists the way it does is because of the Wind Waker and Twilight Princess remakes. Those kind of laid the groundwork for what they went forward with in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, because didn't Breath of the Wild have development troubles?
Uh-huh.
Over 7 years, if I recall correctly.
And it seems kind of funny that we now have a game that started with one company back in their hands now when they were doing We Don't Know.
I would like to also point out the irony, because I point to Matt McMuscle's video on Metroid Prime and how Metroid Prime's development went catastrophically wrong, that Nintendo had to step in and get that shit in hand in order to get that game out the door. It was on the verge of, like, it went so bad that it was on the verge of cancellation.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's back in Retro's hands after, like, I have to think something close to that. Which I'm like, there is a story of Prime
than that, or it wouldn't have went out of anyone's hands to begin with.
Yeah.
Because if Nintendo thought there was a chance of saving it, they would have made them save it.
Yeah, there is a story to Prime Force development, and I can't wait for the day we get to hear that. Just like I can't wait for the day we get to hear about Avengers development, because that had to have went wrong at some point.
Yeah.
There is something with that development that just went off the rails, and it did not end well. Because I mentioned that because I saw another comment about Sony has the exclusive rights to Spider-Man, and I'm like, no, they don't. Shut up. Stop saying that. That's not true. Whoever spoke those words, I wish to throttle. Because that is not how that works. I hate that so much every time I see it. I just want to immediately go, no, that's not how that works. Do I have to point at every other fucking video game that has come out since those fucking Marvel Spider-Man games, where Spider-Man is in those video games and Sony's trademark is nowhere on them? And Sony is not involved in development at all, and hell, they're exclusive to platforms that aren't fucking Sony's. That wouldn't be the case if it was Sony exclusive.
Sony only owns the movie rights to Spider-Man.
Yes.
Period. Marvel owns the rest of the rights for Spider-Man.
I have seen a legal document that details those movie rights, because that leaked, actually. It's like a few years old, but it goes into details of what Sony owns and what Marvel owns in that agreement about Spider-Man, just for the movie rights. And it's, shall we say, exhaustive. To the point, it's like, to the point of, these are characters Sony owns, these are characters Marvel owns, these are characters that are contested, that can be contested if y'all want to fight about it. And also, these are characters you're not fighting about because Marvel owns these, and we're not going to have this conversation. Like, Captain America is listed as, this is a thing Marvel owns. We're not having a conversation about whether you own it or not because, that one time Spider-Man and Captain America did a thing in the comics. It is fairly extensive, and it does not mention video games fucking once, because that is the agreement. That is the literal binding legal document, or a version of it from like a few years ago.
And it is full on legal until Disney buys Sony.
Pretty much.
Because Sony has made it very clear that they are not giving it up.
Yeah, and the Sony movie division is not doing a whole lot these days that isn't Spider-Man. At least successfully.
Yeah. Well, and Venom.
God.
Because Venom's turned out pretty decent.
I had to point out, because did you see the stuff about Morbius?
Morbius, on the other hand, hasn't. But...
I had to point out in a Discord how, because I kept seeing people meme about that movie to death, and I'm like, y'all gotta make that shit make money.
Yep.
If you keep up. Which thankfully it hasn't, because they decided to put it back in theaters, and it made it still bombed.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw something about it bombed the first time. They figured to try to fix the problems, re-release it, and made it worse.
Yes.
And I'm like,
But I had
how? You had what seemed to be a decent idea. You have the formula from Venom. What the frick is wrong with you? Marvel figured it out. They took Iron Man, did the plot that they did, saw that worked, and said, let's apply this to everything. It's like, come on.
But I had to point out in the Discord, here's the thing about Venom. Venom bombed in the States. Venom did not make the money it needed to make in the States. You want to know how Venom got success, made the money it needed to, get a sequel and stuff? The advertising in China played up the relationship with Venom about, oh, he's your buddy and stuff. There are dedicated Chinese exclusive advertisements for Venom that play up Venom's like buddy aspects of the movie, and that pulled enough people in China to get that movie to make its money back. That is the only reason Venom was successful, is because of Chinese exclusive marketing pulled people to that movie. That is why I was like, y'all gonna meme this movie and make it successful, because that's what fucking happened to Venom. Thankfully, it didn't. But yeah, be careful what you wish for, people. It can still make money by some miracle.
I also find it immensely funny that after the most recent Spider-Man movie, now everyone wants to have add-ons to both the previous incarnations, and I'm like, you guys do realize that's probably not gonna happen.
Everyone wants Andrew Garfield to be the Spider-Man from the Venom movies.
Oh, I've seen people wanting a Spider-Man 4 and an Amazing Spider-Man 3. It's both. It's like, I could see Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man getting that redemption concept, since Sony's wanting to try to set up the Spider-Man villains kind of deal. Mm-hmm. I could see something like that working in, but it's not gonna happen. It's just not. I mean,
they'll try. By God, they'll try. I believe they're re-releasing No Way Home with more footage.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Because I've seen the things about No Way Home with more fun things. And I'm like, seriously? Seriously? We're doing this?
Yeah.
Of course you are.
I mean, how else do you think movies are gonna compete for the #1 spot?
Anywho, folks.
You wait a year or at least a few months and then re-release and make more money off of it.
I still haven't seen No Way Home. I've read up on No Way Home, but I still haven't watched it. Because I'm just waiting for it to hit Disney Plus or something I can watch it on.
I mean, fair. I also didn't figure it would happen, so I went ahead and rented it through YouTube and watched it that way. It's pretty good. I gotta give it that. I agree with everything I've seen about the 3 Tom Holland movies actually kind of act as the origin story. And I'm like, I kind of dig that. We did it a different way, finally.
I'm incredibly behind on my Marvel stuff. Like, I just watched Hawkeye this week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Just Hawkeye, mind you. I've still not watched Miss Marvel. I've been watching Obi-Wan Kenobi weekly. I still have not watched Miss Marvel. I watched Moon Knight weekly, and I thought that was fine, but...
I liked Moon Knight for the simple fact of it didn't feel like it was part of the main universe kind of deal. It felt like it could be its own thing.
Yeah.
And that's... I hate being this way, but I almost feel like that's what we need for a lot of the Disney Plus stuff, where it's got the hints to tie it into the main, but for the most part it can be its own thing.
Yeah, I feel like I'm falling off Marvel stuff because, I don't know, they're just not doing something that's really interesting me. For some reason, I don't know why.
Because Phase 3 was the big hype ender, and then we're back to basically Phase 1 again.
Right.
We're setting the groundwork for the one crossover, which I feel like we're setting up too much.
Yeah, I've seen that talk, and I'm like, yeah, it feels like we are just... Some of these are just exposition heavy, like, we gotta set up all this stuff, and I'm like, can I just get a thing?
Because... reason I feel like we're setting up too much is because it feels like we're setting up like 3, maybe 4 teams. And that's not what the bread and butter for Phase 1 was.
I believe that lines up with what Kevin Feige has said about Marvel's, like, MCU stuff at the moment, where he said, like, we're testing different ideas for stuff, but we're not committing to anything just yet. So, like, Secret Wars is on the table, but we're not committing to Secret Wars. That's just a thing that's out there. We're teasing a Dark Avengers, but we're not committing to it. We're teasing a Young Avengers, but we're not committing to it. We're just seeing what people...
That's the thing. They are committing to some of it, though.
Yeah.
We've got the right players that have crossed over between different shows, even to signify that there's more than likely a Dark Avengers team. We've gotten the right exposure to certain characters, especially now with Miss Marvel, for a Young Avengers team. The only one that I feel like has been teased has been the Midnight Suns. Because all of the heroes in that one could function as their own without ever forming a team. It's one of those, it's like... I don't agree with that statement, because it feels like they've actually are purposely trying to set up all of this at once.
Yeah.
And I feel like that might be the problem. Because, yeah, Secret Wars, yeah, I could see that one being a tease, too.
That's all the Kang stuff, for reference. For anyone wondering, like, where's the Secret Wars stuff coming in? Loki with Kang. That's pretty much it.
Yes and no.
Well, yeah,
it's one of those. It's one of those. Yeah, Multiverse of Madness more is the one that's pointing towards Secret Wars. Kang's existence, not so much. since he's just the one of those recurring villain kind of deals.
I think if they're doing Secret Wars, I'm assuming they're setting up Kang to be the replacement for Doom from that story. If I were to guess. Because they don't have a Fantastic Four at the moment. So we don't have a Doom. But we've got a Kang!
But see, that also ties into, is Secret Wars going to be our big in-game level event?
Right.
If that's the case, then we'll have Doom by that point.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, Kang doesn't feel like a Phase 4 villain either. It's like we don't really have anything set up, and I think that's the problem.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of advertisers and teasing to be like, we've got plans, but we're not like really pushing them.
We're just
putting it on.
It's almost like we're in Phase 3.5. Where we're not really into the next phase because we're having to set everything up.
Mm-hmm. Like, I'll be honest, a Secret Wars thing, it sounds neat, but I don't know if I'm really interested in that. Like a Dark Avengers, specifically a Dark Avengers versus a Young Avengers, I think I'm far more interested in that, because it would be like, hey, what is a dark version of like the original Avengers versus like more or less the people that have inherited those proper titles, and it's a fight for their legacy.
That would be something I could see being a Phase 4 end, but they also have to commit to it.
Yeah.
The little teases here and there are not enough to full on commit.
Yeah.
Not to mention, we don't have the glue that sets up the Young Avengers.
Yeah, we just have a bunch of Young Avengers characters that have popped up here and there, and that's kind of it.
And we also have what in the comics is the glue that sets up the Young Avengers, being a white synthezoid that went flying off to God only knows where.
That is Sir not appearing anymore, even though there should be a movie where he appears, but nope, he is Sir not appearing in this movie.
It's one of those that's like, I feel like we should have had, even if it was passing mentions, a Vision every so often. That might be enough to be like, okay, well, we see where they're going with that. This character is being set up for that concept. I mean, let's be real. Fury was literally a big player in all of the original Avengers.
Yeah.
So it made perfect sense when the time came and he said, okay, you guys are a team. I mean, it kind of feels like, okay, who's going to be that one that's like, okay, we need a team to stop this and set that up. We've got that for the Dark Avengers. We completely have that for the other side. It's like, I don't get it.
Yeah. Honestly, I think the Marvel thing I'm most excited for that we don't have yet has nothing to do with the MCU. And it's Spider-Verse 2. That I'm excited for that. I'm excited for Marvel Spider-Man 2, the video game. I'm excited for Midnight Suns, but like everything in the MCU, I'm like, oh yeah, you're doing an Echo show. Oh yeah, that character I just saw, and I'm like, why does she have her own show now? Why are we okay? Sure. Like, that's cool. She didn't really do a whole lot in this show.
Yeah.
Is this supposed to just set up her show? Because you're falling into that trap all of your competitors did, where it's all set up and no substance.
I mean, they're doing good on the per show level.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're still getting that same movie arc out of that, but it's the overall what they're building in the universe. It's like, okay, all you're doing right now is setting up. You're just putting the pieces on the board. You're not even trying to see if any of the pieces can move forward.
Yeah.
And it's one of those, it's like, I don't know. I get part of the reason because they're probably wanting to see what the reaction videos and all the theory videos and all that stuff's pointing towards, to see if there is even hype for certain things. But it's like, just do it. You didn't wait on hype to decide that Thanos was going to be the main villain of the first 3 phases.
Yeah.
You just did it. He could have just as easily been the villain that was fought in the first Avengers, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those, it's like, I think that's the problem I'm having right now, is there's no, we're doing this.
Yeah. Well, the rare Marvel talk happened, folks. Because we rarely talk about Marvel stuff.
I don't even remember how we transitioned into it. Also,
I think all I did was mention the whole conversation, the whole thing with Marvel Spider-Man rights, and that's just what happened.
Yeah, but I feel like we got there farther back.
Probably.
But I don't remember how.
That's what happens, folks. But releases then, because we've got no other E3 stuff to talk about.
Yeah. That's why the card's just been sitting there.
Yeah, 21st of June is where we kick off. Fall Guys is going free to play on Xbox One, Series X, PlayStation 5, and Switch. That's why it's here. I didn't know it was going free to play till the last 2 weeks. So, cool, I guess. Shadowrun Trilogy for Xbox One, Series X, PlayStation 4, 5, and Switch, and I assume that includes Dragonfall Director's Cut, Hong Kong Extended Edition, and Returns. Elder Scrolls Online High Island Expansion for Xbox One, Series X, PlayStation 4, and 5. I mentioned that because I keep seeing commercials for it. And Wreckfest for Switch. On the 22nd, why pizza for Xbox One and Series X? That is not a question. Why is that a question? On the 23rd,
why pizza? Why not hamburger?
True. On the 23rd, Disney Mirrorverse finally is officially released stateside, I believe. I think it's been exclusive to Europe for like an eternity. I think I've shown you designs from Mirrorverse, because I think McFarlane keeps doing toys for it. I'm like, these are neat looking designs. But it's a gacha game, I think, so nah. Sonic Origins for Xbox One, Series X, PlayStation 4, 5, and Switch. On the 24th, AI, the Solomon Files Nirvana Initiative for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Switch. That is a point-and-click game. I've seen the first one played. It looks really good. It's on Game Pass, and I need to play it. Capcom Fighting Collection for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Switch. Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes for Switch. I'm probably picking this up, unfortunately, because I don't think I can resist the urge to not pick it up, because that demo was really good, and it really hooked me on what they're doing with that game, and I kind of want to see it through. Also, Pokemon Snap is on the Switch Online service for the N64 emulator. Good reason to finally do Pokemon Snap on stream, because I've been wanting to do that, and Project 64 failed me super hard on that when I tried to do it once. On the 28th, DNF Duel for PlayStation 4 and 5. That's a fighting game. Apparently a good fighting game. On the 29th, Lumberjack Simulator for Xbox One. On the 30th, 12,000 games. Good lord, why is everything releasing on the 30th? There's so much. Destiny 2 Lightfall for Stadia.
End of second quarter.
I guess. Yeesh. Disco Elysium, the Final Cut Collector's Edition for Xbox One and PlayStation 5. Disgaea 6 Complete Deluxe Edition for PlayStation 4 and 5. I'm scrolling through here, find stuff. Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak for Switch. We're doing that on pre-show stuff when it comes out, because I've been doing Monster Hunter Rise on pre-shows and really enjoyed doing it. I think I'm going to set a goal for that of picking up all of the dual blades, all of like the end of line on the weapon tree stuff, dual blades, and doing all the unlocks for the armors and stuff for fashion. At least I may not be able to do the fashion stuff, but I'll at least do all the dual blade stuff. River City Girls 0 for Xbox One, Series X, PlayStation 4 and 5. Rabbids Party of Legends for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Switch, and Stadia. And Outriders World Slayer for Xbox One, Series X, PlayStation 4, 5, and Stadia. All the Stadia stuff. Jetpack's Party Starter for Switch. Zorro the Chronicles for Stadia. And then on the 1st of July, delete that one real quick. Almost by Floor for Xbox One and Series X. And that's pretty much it. There's a bunch more stuff here. You can check the notes if you desire to see the full list. But that'll do it for us, folks. Tomorrow, we get to talk about Rampage Vulcan in an episode that I thought was a two-parter, but it wasn't. I thought the last episode of our batch was a two-parter.
I did too.
I was like, right, this is a two-parter. Wait, this is over. Wait, this is... I thought this was a two-parter. Okay, sure.
I forgot that this is the part where in the show where they actually kind of threw out the two-parters.
I think the reason I think it's a two-parter because I think it's the Yaiba stuff. It's the Yaiba stuff in that episode and the following episode that makes me think it's a two-parter.
But if I'm not mistaken, I think we're actually at the point where the two-parter is kind of just thrown out the window.
Yep. I also was reminded, all right, Izu and Naruto's actors actually were on the runway. They are actually at that event and did a bit at that event for the show. That is legit them walking out on the runway and legit them doing this scene in front of the live crowd. Which is kind of cool. But yeah, that is tomorrow, us talking 01. Wednesday is Star Citizen?
Yeah.
Yes. Thursday, it is Great Battle Gaiden 2 plus Ryuki for Rider Chronicle Week. Saturday is a Rampant Gaming of a Rampant Gaming variety.
Yeah. I don't know yet.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be a thing.
Yep. And that will bring us full circle since this is normally on Saturdays and not Sundays. I'm trying to remember when, because since I was playing Shredder's Revenge, I'm like, there's also a beat 'em up Rider game that we're doing for Rider Chronicle, and I don't remember where it is on the list.
I mean, didn't you post everything on the schedule?
I did. I just have to find. Ah, there it is. Because it's also called Kamen Rider because it's about the original series, but it's Kamen Rider in SNES.
Oh.
Because we had Kamen Rider PSX, essentially.
So not this coming Thursday, but the next one.
Yes. With Battle Dodgeball 2. I've actually played that on stream before because I was skimming through SNES stuff and I found that. It is a very difficult game. I died horribly. So we're probably not going to make a whole lot of progress. It seems like we don't get that much progress because I also died on like the second level of the Tokyo Taisen 2001 because the bat friend from the original series killed Hongo and it got me a game over. And I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do different. I thought I was playing this level correctly. Well, shit. I guess we're done, folks. Because it is very difficult to be playing that game untranslated because there's a lot of menus and stuff.
Fair.
I really wish that game had a fan translation. Like, of all the things I've played on stream so far, that is a game I need a fan translation of. Because, like, the other stuff, some of the other stuff I've played, I don't need a fan translation because it's a simple enough game that I can just go through it and be done. Like, it'd be cool to do the story and stuff, but, like, I don't need it. Granted, I'm also one of those people who will just bang their head into the wall and get through somehow and not worry about it. Because I'm sure people would be hung up about trying to play, like, I don't know, Traveler Senki untranslated. But I did the entire game untranslated and with, like, no guide and got through it. With, like, no issue. But yeah, that's the week ahead, folks. So if you like what you're seeing, drop a follow. Really appreciate it. Chipping away at that affiliate goal at TCZone on Twitter gets you updates on live. Next page point, Discord and chat. Get to listeners link. Drop by, say hi. See you tomorrow, folks.